The scorching sun beat down mercilessly on the barren desert, the cracked earth reflecting waves of heat into the endless blue sky. In this forsaken place, miles away from any known human settlement, something extraordinary was about to unfold, something that would change one man's life forever. Jacob Wells was no stranger to danger. A former soldier turned freelance explorer, he had ventured into some of the most dangerous places on Earth and beyond. But nothing had prepared him for this. Nothing could prepare him for what or who he was about to encounter. He was scanning the horizon with tired eyes when a sudden shadow passed over him. Before he could react, a powerful gust of wind kicked up sand and debris, blinding him for a moment. When the dust settled, a colossal figure stood just yards away. At first, Jacob thought his mind was playing tricks on him. The figure towered over him, easily 8 feet tall, with an athletic yet otherworldly physique. Her skin shimmered faintly. Under the sun, an iridescent blue-green hue that shifted with every slight movement. Her eyes were large, almond-shaped, and glowed softly with an unearthly light. She moved with a grace that seemed almost impossible for someone so large. Jacob's breath caught in his throat. This was no human woman. Who? What are you? Jacob managed, his voice rough from the dry air. The alien woman tilted her head slightly, studying him with an intense curiosity. She didn't speak, at least not in any language Jacob could understand. Instead, she reached out a long, slender hand. The tips of her fingers glowed softly, almost like bioluminescent stars. Jacob hesitated, but then, driven by a mixture of fear, fascination, and something deeper he couldn't name, he reached out and touched her palm. The moment their skin met, a strange current pulsed through his body. His heart hammered like a drum, and his mind was flooded with images, visions of stars, vast cosmic storms, and endless galaxies spinning in silent harmony. He staggered backward, overwhelmed. The alien woman stepped closer, her eyes locking onto his with an intensity that made him feel simultaneously exposed and safe. Without warning, she pressed her palm against his chest, right over his heart. The pulse returned, stronger this time, and Jacob collapsed onto the cracked earth, gasping for breath. His mind swirled with confusion and awe. Who was she? What did she want? Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the sensation faded. The alien woman helped him to his feet, her grip firm yet gentle. She reached up and placed a small, smooth device on his wrist. It felt cool against his skin. Jacob glanced at it. A faint glow pulsed within the device, synchronizing with his heartbeat. Before he could ask, the sky darkened. A rumbling sound filled the air. Jacob looked up to see a fleet of sleek black ships descending from the clouds. The design was unlike anything he had ever seen, sleek, angular, and ominous. The alien woman's eyes flickered with alarm. "They're here," Jacob thought. Somehow he understood her words without hearing them. "Who?" he whispered. She turned and started running toward a narrow canyon, motioning for him to follow. Jacob didn't hesitate. As they dashed through the jagged rocks, the ships unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, the ground exploding around them. Sand and stone rained down like thunder. Jacob's instincts kicked in. He pushed himself harder, adrenaline surging through his veins. They reached a hidden cave entrance partially obscured by rock formations. The alien woman activated the device on his wrist, and a shimmering shield appeared, blocking the blasts. Inside the cave, dim blue light illuminated strange alien symbols etched into the walls. Jacob tried to catch his breath. "Why are they after you?" he asked, his voice hoarse. The alien woman hesitated, then spoke in a soft, melodic tone. Though the words were foreign, the device on Jacob's wrist translated them into English. "My people. They do not accept me. I carry their future." Jacob frowned, trying to process the meaning. Suddenly a loud explosion shook the cave entrance. The shield flickered. They will break through soon, the alien woman said urgently. You must decide. Stay and fight or run and survive. Jacob's mind raced. Run? Leave her behind? That was not an option. I'm not leaving you, he said firmly. Her eyes softened. You are brave. Braver than any human I have met. Jacob felt an unexpected warmth in those words. The cave trembled as the attackers broke through the shield. The alien woman grabbed his hand again and the pulse returned, stronger than before. A voice echoed in his mind. Mate? Jacob froze. Mate? He repeated aloud, uncertain. She nodded, eyes pleading. To bind us, the device translated. His heart pounded. He faced a choice no man had ever faced. To mate with an alien woman, 8 feet tall, from a mysterious species with secrets that could unravel his world. Okay, he whispered, gripping her hand tightly. Let's do this. The ground shook again as enemies closed in. As they prepared for what was to come, Jacob realized that this moment would define not just his fate, but the fate of humanity itself. The ground trembled beneath Jacob's feet as the cave entrance erupted with energy blasts. Outside, the relentless attackers advanced, cold, ruthless, and determined. But inside the dim cavern, time seemed to slow. Jacob stared at the alien woman's glowing eyes, searching for answers in their depths. Her name, he learned through the device on his wrist, was Kayla. She was unlike any being he had ever met, majestic, powerful, yet vulnerable. The device pulsed gently on his wrist, syncing with their heartbeats. The bond was forming. Are you ready? Kayla's voice was soft but urgent. Jacob swallowed hard. I don't know, but I'm not backing down. Kayla stepped closer. Her height overwhelmed him, but there was no fear, only an intense connection binding their souls. The mating ritual was unlike anything Jacob had imagined. It was not mere physical union, but a profound merging of minds and memories. As their hands touched, waves of sensations flooded Jacob's consciousness, visions of Kayla's world, her people, their struggles, and their hope. Jacob gasped as memories not his own filled his mind. Of vast cities floating in alien skies, of wars fought to protect a dying species, of Kayla's exile and the secret she carried, the key to her people's survival. It's a lot, Kayla whispered, but you must understand, the bond links us beyond this moment. Suddenly, the cave shook violently as the attackers breached the outer defenses. Jacob's new sense of awareness sharpened. He could feel Kayla's heartbeat, her fears, her determination. Without thinking, Jacob pulled her close. Their bond pulsed stronger, and a strange energy enveloped them. The alien device on his wrist flared with blinding light, and a protective shield sprang up around them. Outside, the enemy weapons slammed against the shield, sparks flying. Jacob felt the rush of adrenaline and an unfamiliar surge of power coursing through his veins. Together, Kayla said, we can survive. Jacob nodded, determination hardening his resolve. The battle was brutal. Outside the cave, the attackers were relentless. Sleek ships hovered, their weapons firing relentlessly, shaking the earth and sending shockwaves through the canyon. Jacob could hear the distant roar of engines and the crackle of energy blasts. Inside, Kayla's knowledge became invaluable. She instructed Jacob to activate a hidden panel on the wall, a holographic map of the terrain and nearby alien technology. Using her guidance and his military training, Jacob quickly devised a plan. We can use the canyon's twists to our advantage, Kayla said. If we can reach the eastern ridge, there's an ancient defense system we can activate. Jacob studied the map, nodding. Then let's move. They bolted through narrow passageways, their bond strengthening with each step. Jacob was amazed at the symbiotic connection forming, not just a physical mating, but a mental link that allowed them to communicate without words. As they ascended the rocky slope, Kyla shared more of her memories. Her species, the Azurans, were once revered across galaxies for their wisdom and power, but internal strife and external enemies had shattered their civilization. "You are the first human to truly understand me," she said, eyes glowing softly. "Our bond is a symbol of hope for both our peoples." Jacob's heart ached with the weight of responsibility. This was no ordinary mission. It was a quest to save an entire civilization, and perhaps humanity's place in the cosmos. And the ridge, the ancient defense system, awaited, a towering structure of metal and crystal humming with latent energy. Jacob placed his hands on the control panel, feeling the alien technology respond to their combined presence. Suddenly, the attackers breached the ridge, cutting off their escape. "We're surrounded," Jacob whispered. Kayla's eyes flashed with determination. "Then we fight." The bond between them ignited, creating a shield that shimmered like liquid light. The attackers' weapons slammed against it, but the shield held. Jacob fought alongside Kayla, using his weapons and instincts while Kayla wielded alien energy with devastating precision. Their synergy was undeniable, a fusion of human grit and alien power. The battle was fierce, but their unity was stronger. As the dust settled, Jacob and Kayla stood victorious but exhausted. The attackers retreated, their ships disappearing into the sky. Jacob looked at Kayla, awe and admiration in his eyes. "We did it, together." Kayla smiled, a rare and beautiful expression. This is only the beginning. The bond between them was no longer just physical or mental. It was emotional, a deep connection that transcended species, culture, and worlds. Back in the cave, they tended to their wounds and planned their next move. Kayla revealed more about the secret she carried, a genetic key that could revive her dying planet's ecosystem. "But the secret is dangerous," she warned. "Many will stop at nothing to claim it." Jacob nodded, understanding the stakes. "Then we protect it, together." As they rested, Jacob's thoughts drifted to Earth, the people he loved, the world he fought to protect. Now he was entwined in a cosmic destiny far beyond anything he had imagined, and through it all, the bond with Kayla grew stronger, a beacon of hope in the vast unknown. The cave was silent but for the steady hum of the ancient defense system, now fully activated. Jacob and Kayla sat side by side on the cold stone floor, each nursing their wounds and catching their breath after the fierce battle that had just ended. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly across the velvet sky, but their minds were far from the peace the cosmos promised. Jacob glanced at Kayla, whose alien features were illuminated softly by the glowing crystals embedded in the cave walls. Her large eyes held a mixture of hope and fear, a complex cocktail of emotions that mirrored his own. "So," Jacob began, his voice steady despite the adrenaline still coursing through his veins, "tell me everything about your planet, your people, and this secret you're carrying." Kayla's gaze hardened as she took a deep breath. "Our home world is called Azura Prime. Once it was a jewel of the galaxy, vast oceans, towering cities, and technology that rivaled the stars themselves. But a terrible plague struck us centuries ago, a bioweapon unleashed by an enemy race, the Zyrex. Our ecosystems began to collapse, our population dwindled, and many turned to desperate measures." Jacob nodded, urging her to continue. "Some believed salvation lay in genetic engineering, altering our DNA to adapt and survive. Others saw the ancient technology buried beneath our cities as the key. I was part of a secret council that guarded a genetic code, a seed capable of restoring life to Azura Prime. But enemies sought to steal it. I was forced into exile to protect it, and now I am hunted." Jacob's mind raced. The weight of this secret was enormous. "And you believe this seed could save your planet?" Kayla's eyes gleamed with determination. Yes, but in the wrong hands, it could destroy many worlds. Suddenly, Jacob's wrist device beeped. A warning. More attackers, he muttered, standing quickly. They've tracked us here. Kayla stood beside him, her towering form ready for combat. We must move to the inner sanctum, the heart of the defense system. Together, they dashed through the winding tunnels, the ancient walls vibrating with latent energy. The attackers' ships appeared as shadowy silhouettes against the starry sky, their weapons firing sporadically. Inside the inner sanctum, the atmosphere shifted. The walls shimmered with ethereal light, and strange glyphs pulsed with power. Kayla approached a pedestal at the center, placing her hands on its surface. A holographic projection erupted, a map of the galaxy, with blinking dots marking her people's scattered colonies and the Zyrex territory. Jacob watched in awe. This is incredible, Kayla nodded. This system was built to protect our legacy and coordinate a counterattack, but we've been isolated for so long. She turned to him, eyes filled with urgency. We need allies, not just to fight, but to restore balance. Jacob's thoughts flickered to earth. Do you think humans can help? Kayla's lips curved into a faint smile. You already have. That's why I reached out to you. The moment was shattered by an explosion, an enemy ship crashing nearby. Dust and debris rained through the cavern as the defense system shuddered. Jacob grabbed Kayla's arm. We have to seal this place before they break through. They rushed to activate the sanctuary's security protocols. The cavern's entrance slowly closed, metal gates sliding with a grinding roar. But Jacob's heart pounded. He knew the attackers wouldn't give up easily. As the gates sealed, Kayla turned to him. We must prepare. The next assault will be worse. Jacob clenched his fists. Then we fight back. Together. In the following days, Jacob and Kayla forged a deeper bond. The physical link that began with their mating ritual grew into something more profound, a partnership of minds and hearts. Kayla taught Jacob about Azuran history, language, and technology. Jacob shared stories of Earth, its people, and his military experience. They trained together, honing their skills and learning to synchronize their abilities. Their relationship blossomed beyond necessity into trust, respect, and something neither had expected: love. But amidst this fragile peace, shadows lurked. One night as they rested, a whisper echoed through the sanctuary, a soft, eerie voice that only Jacob could hear. Jacob! He jolted awake, heart racing. Kayla stirred beside him but did not hear the voice. Did you hear that? Jacob asked. Kayla shook her head. No. What was it? Jacob hesitated. I don't know, but I feel like it's coming from the device. He examined the wrist device, noticing a faint flicker. Suddenly, a hidden message revealed itself, a cryptic transmission in an ancient Azuran code. Kayla's eyes widened. This code, it's from the original council. A warning. Jacob's pulse quickened. What does it say? Kayla translated, her voice trembling. Beware the shadow within. The greatest threat comes not from without, but from within. Jacob's mind reeled. Within? You mean someone here? Kayla nodded gravely. There's a traitor among us. The revelation shattered their trust. Jacob and Kayla began to investigate, probing the sanctuary's systems and interrogating hidden archives. Secrets unfolded, old betrayals, conspiracies, and a looming threat that could destroy them all. One name kept surfacing: Sareth, a former council member who vanished years ago. Rumors claimed he allied with the Zyrex, seeking power at any cost. Jacob's resolve hardened. We have to find him, Kayla agreed. But he's clever. He knows these systems better than anyone. Their search led them deeper into the sanctuary's labyrinth, a maze of forgotten tunnels and sealed chambers. As they ventured deeper, Jacob felt a strange presence watching them. The air grew colder, heavier. Suddenly from the shadows a figure emerged, tall, cloaked and familiar. "Sareth," Kayla whispered, fear and fury in her voice. The traitor's eyes gleamed. "So predictable, Kayla. And you've brought a human." "Fascinating." Jacob stepped forward, weapon raised. "This ends now." Sareth laughed, a cold, chilling sound. "You think you can stop me? The seed will be mine, and with it I will rule not just Azura Prime, but the galaxy." Kayla's hands crackled with energy. "Not while we stand." The confrontation ignited, fierce and desperate. As the battle raged, Jacob and Kayla fought side by side, human courage and alien power united. But Sareth was cunning, exploiting their weaknesses and striking at their bond. In a brutal moment, Sareth unleashed a wave of dark energy, separating Jacob and Kayla. The connection faltered. Jacob fell to his knees, pain ripping through him. Kayla screamed, struggling to maintain her strength. Just as all seemed lost, Jacob remembered the bond's true power. It was not just physical or mental, but emotional. He focused on Kayla, on their shared hope, love, and determination. A surge of energy pulsed through him, reigniting the bond. Light flared, blinding and pure. Sareth staggered, shielded by their unity. Jacob rose, weapon steady. "It's over." With Kayla's help, they sealed Sareth away in a containment field, neutralizing the threat. For now, exhausted but victorious, Jacob and Kayla returned to the sanctuary's heart. "Your people's future is still uncertain," Kayla said softly. "But with you, I believe in hope." Jacob smiled, feeling a new strength within. "We'll face whatever comes, together." As the twin moons of Azura Prime rose outside, casting a pale glow over the sanctuary, Jacob and Kayla embraced, two souls from different worlds bound by fate, courage, and love. The sanctuary's quiet hum was broken only by the soft footsteps of Jacob and Kayla as they moved through the cavernous corridors. The battle with Sareth still echoed in their minds, but there was no time for rest. The sealed containment field flickered faintly, reminding them of the threat lurking just beyond their control. Kayla's voice was steady but grave. "Sareth's capture is only temporary. His influence runs deeper than we thought." Jacob frowned. "What do you mean? I thought locking him away would end this." Kayla shook her head. "No. The seed, our genetic code, is connected to his power. If he finds a way to access it, everything we've fought for will be lost." Jacob's mind raced. "So, what's the plan?" Kayla gestured toward a holographic map of Azura Prime. "We must journey to the core of the planet, where the seed's energy originates. There, we can secure it from any outside interference." The decision weighed heavily on both of them. The core was uncharted territory, a dangerous and mysterious place even for the Azurans, yet it was their only hope. Preparations began immediately. Jacob studied the ancient gear and technology Kayla provided, armor that could withstand the planet's harsh core environment and weapons infused with Azuran energy. Kayla herself trained harder, her strength and agility improving daily. Despite the urgency, moments of quiet allowed their bond to deepen. Jacob learned more about Kayla's culture, the traditions, fears and hopes of her people. Kayla discovered humanity's resilience and ingenuity, finding comfort in Jacob's unwavering support. One evening, under the twin moon's glow, Jacob spoke quietly. "I still can't believe I'm here, fighting alongside an alien queen." Kayla smiled softly. "I never imagined I would trust a human, much less love one." Their eyes met, and in that instant, words were unnecessary. The future was uncertain. Together, they felt unstoppable. The journey to the planet's core was treacherous. Their ship, reinforced with Azuran technology, pierced through thick clouds and magnetic storms. As they descended, The environment became increasingly hostile. Temperatures soared, gravity fluctuated, and the air grew thin. Jacob gripped the controls tightly. "This is unlike anything I've ever experienced." Kayla's eyes narrowed. "Stay focused, we're close." Suddenly alarms blared. The ship shuddered violently. "Enemy fighters!" Jacob shouted, pulling the ship into evasive maneuvers. Outside, the viewport, sleek vessels emerged from hidden caves, Zyrek raiders intent on stopping them. Kayla readied her weapon. "We'll fight them off, but if the ship fails, we must escape on foot." The space battle was intense. Jacob's piloting skills and Kayla's combat prowess combined to outmaneuver and disable several attackers. Still, the raiders pressed. Odd. A sudden explosion rocked the ship, systems failing. "Brace for impact," Jacob yelled as the ship crashed near the core's surface. Jacob and Kayla stumbled from the wreckage, battered but alive. The landscape was surreal, a glowing cavern of molten rock and crystalline formations pulsating with energy. Kayla's expression was serious. "The seed's source is near. We must hurry." Their path was perilous. Toxic gases hissed from fissures, and strange creatures skittered in the shadows. Each step tested their endurance. As they neared the core chamber, Kayla revealed the final secret. The seed was not merely a genetic code, but a living organism, an ancient sentient entity that had nurtured Azura Prime since its creation. "It's fragile," she warned, "and it senses danger." Jacob reached out, feeling the energy pulse beneath the surface. The seed's power was immense yet delicate, a balance of creation and destruction. Suddenly, the ground trembled. From the shadows emerged a colossal Zyrek warrior, its form grotesque and menacing. "Sareth sent reinforcements," Kayla said, eyes blazing. Jacob and Kayla prepared to fight, knowing that failure would doom not only Azura Prime, but countless worlds beyond. The battle was fierce. Jacob's human ingenuity and Kayla's alien strength pushed them to their limits. The seed's energy seemed to resonate with their bond, granting them strength. With a final, combined effort, they defeated the Zyrek warrior, securing the seed's safety. Exhausted but victorious, Jacob and Kayla returned to the sanctuary, their bond stronger and their mission clearer. Yet, as they settled into a brief rest, a new message arrived, a cryptic transmission hinting at even greater dangers lurking in the galaxy. Jacob and Kayla barely had time to recover from their harrowing journey to the core of Azura Prime before a new, unsettling threat revealed itself. The cryptic transmission they intercepted was unlike anything they had encountered, an alien code layered with urgency and despair, warning of a galactic menace that could eclipse even Sareth's wrath. The message was brief, but the implications were profound. "Jacob, this is not just about Azura Prime anymore," Kayla said quietly as they reviewed the transmission's contents in the sanctuary's command room. This could threaten every civilization in our sector." Jacob stared at the glowing hologram, his mind racing. Who sent this? And why now? Kayla shook her head. "Unknown, but it's clear they know of Sareth's capture and the seed's protection. They're mobilizing." Jacob's heart pounded. "We need allies," Kayla nodded. "I will reach out to the Council of Elders, but we must prepare. Whatever is coming, it won't wait." Within hours, Kayla connected to the ancient network that linked Azura Prime to distant allied worlds. Her holographic image flickered as she spoke to the Council's representatives, wise, ancient beings who had guided Azuran civilization for millennia. "The seed's safety is paramount," Kayla insisted, her voice firm yet tinged with worry. "But we must unite beyond our borders. The threat is not isolated." One elder, a tall figure cloaked in translucent robes, responded gravely. "Kayla, the darkness you speak of stirs in the void. We have sensed its approach but lacked proof until your transmission." Jacob watched silently, feeling the weight of their combined responsibility pressing down on him. Meanwhile, back in the human sectors, news of Jacob's alliance with the Azurans spread rapidly, both celebrated and feared. His courage had sparked hope but also suspicion. His former colleagues debated fiercely whether humans should trust aliens, especially one so different and powerful as Kayla. Jacob found himself torn between worlds. During a rare, quiet moment, Kayla approached Jacob in the sanctuary's garden, a peaceful area filled with bioluminescent plants that glowed softly in the dim light. "Jacob," she began, her voice gentle but serious. "Our worlds are on the brink. We need more than strength. We need understanding." Jacob took her hands in his. "I never imagined I'd fight for a world beyond my own, or for someone like you." Kayla smiled faintly. "And yet, here we are." Their connection deepened, a symbol of hope amidst the chaos. Suddenly, alarms shattered the calm. The sanctuary's sensors detected an unknown fleet approaching, a shadowy armada cloaked in dark energy. "Jacob, they're here," Kayla said, eyes narrowing. The battle that followed was unlike any before. The Shadow Fleet was vast and relentless, their technology advanced and terrifyingly efficient. Jacob piloted their ship with fierce determination, weaving through enemy fire as Kayla commanded their defenses. Amid the chaos, Jacob noticed something disturbing. The shadow ships seemed to adapt to their attacks instantly, almost as if learning from their every move. Kayla shouted over the roar, "They're not just attacking, they're studying us." Jacob realized with a chill that the enemy's goal wasn't mere destruction, but domination. During a critical moment, their ship was hit and systems began to fail. They crash-landed on a barren moon, a place devoid of life, but rich in strange, ancient technology. As they surveyed their surroundings, they discovered an underground facility filled with cryptic symbols and holographic records hinting at a long-lost civilization destroyed by the Shadow Force. Kayla translated quickly. This was a warning, a plea to future generations. Jacob's mind raced. If this shadow can wipe out entire civilizations, we're running out of time. Their discovery revealed a chilling truth. The Shadow Fleet was not just a military force, but a living entity, a parasitic intelligence consuming worlds to increase its own power. The seed they had protected was a beacon of life and creation, the antithesis of the Shadow's hunger. Determined to stop the Shadow, Jacob and Kayla devised a desperate plan to awaken the ancient defense systems buried within the moon's depths, technology capable of turning the tide. As they ventured deeper, facing traps and remnants of the lost civilization's last stand, their trust in each other became their greatest weapon. Finally, they reached the heart of the facility, a massive core pulsating with dormant energy. Kayla placed her hand on the console, her alien biology resonating with the ancient tech. Jacob watched as the core flared to life, sending a pulse across the sector. Back in space, the Shadow Fleet faltered, their ships convulsing under the assault of the reactivated defense systems. Jacob and Kayla's gamble was working, but it had come at a cost. The facility's activation drained their remaining resources, leaving them vulnerable. As they prepared to return to Azura Prime, a distress signal interrupted their plans, a human colony under attack by the Shadow Fleet. Jacob's resolve hardened. "We protect our own, no matter the cost," Kayla nodded. Together, their ship soared toward the colony, ready for the fight that could decide the fate of both human and alien worlds. The human colony burned under the relentless assault of the Shadow Fleet. Explosions rippled through the skies, the once thriving settlement now a chaotic battlefield of crumbling structures and desperate survivors. Jacob gripped the controls of their ship with iron determination. Beside him, Kayla's luminous eyes scanned the tactical displays, her expression both fierce and somber. "We have to break through their lines," Jacob said, voice steady despite the pounding adrenaline. Kayla nodded. Their fleet is fractured after. The moon's defense systems activated. This is our chance. The fleet surged forward. Laser blasts tore through the void as their ship darted toward the colony, weaving between enemy fire. The gravity of the situation was palpable, not just a fight for survival, but for the future of two species intertwined by fate. Jacob's mind flashed back to all they'd endured, the shocking meeting, the bond forged in the fires of danger, the revelations of ancient civilizations lost to darkness, and the weight of the seed entrusted to them. "Kayla," he whispered, "this is bigger than us now." Kayla's hand found his. "We carry the hope of many worlds." As they approached the surface, they launched a series of coordinated strikes against the Shadow Fleet's assault ships, leveraging the reactivated defense tech's pulse to disable the enemy's shields. Jacob guided a squadron of resistance fighters in a daring raid, pushing deep into the enemy's core forces. Meanwhile, Kayla coordinated support from the sanctuary, calling on Azuran allies across the sector. Inside the colony, amidst the crumbled buildings and desperate cries, human and Azuran survivors worked side by side. Their unity became a beacon against the encroaching darkness, a testament to what cooperation between species could achieve. Jacob and Kayla landed amidst the turmoil, rallying the defenders. "We fight not just for survival," Jacob declared, voice carrying over the chaos, "but for our future together." The final battle was brutal and unforgiving. The Shadow Fleet unleashed their full fury, but every attack was met with resolute defense and fierce retaliation. The parasitic intelligence driving the Shadow forces adapted rapidly, but the Alliance's combined knowledge and courage proved a formidable counter. Kayla activated a newly discovered Azuran weapon, an energy pulse designed to sever the Shadow Fleet's connection to their central hive mind. The weapon fired, a brilliant beam of light piercing the darkness, fracturing the enemy's cohesion. As the Shadow Fleet faltered, the parasitic entity sent a last desperate surge. A massive warship, dark and towering, hurtled toward the colony's heart, threatening to obliterate everything. Jacob and Kayla faced it together. Their bond, tested through trials and sacrifices, was now the key to victory. In a daring maneuver, Jacob piloted their ship inside the warship's defenses. Kayla used her knowledge of Azuran technology to disable its core systems from within. 2. Battle inside the enemy warship was tense and perilous. Traps and automated defenses tested their every move, but they pressed on, united by purpose and trust. At the warship's core, they found the Shadow intelligence itself, a swirling mass of dark energy seeking to consume and control. Kayla stepped forward, her presence resonating with the seed's power embedded within her. She reached out, channeling the life-giving energy to counteract the Shadow's void. Jacob stood guard, fending off the final waves of defense drones. Together, they unleashed a powerful surge that purified the Shadow core, dissolving the parasitic intelligence in a blaze of light. With the core destroyed, the Shadow Fleet disintegrated, retreating into the void. Silence fell. Jacob and Kayla emerged victorious, but changed forever. The colony began rebuilding, now a symbol of unity between humans and Azurans. The bond they had forged stood as a testament to courage, hope, and the power of cooperation. Days later, as peace settled over the stars, Jacob and Kayla stood beneath the twin suns of Azura Prime. Jacob looked at Kayla, the alien woman who had become his partner, his equal, and the mother of the future. "We changed the fate of worlds," he said softly. Kayla smiled, a gentle glow emanating from her. "And together, we will write a new legacy." The lesson, their journey, showed that bravery was not the absence of fear, but the strength to act despite it. That true power lay not in dominance, but in empathy and alliance. and that sometimes the most unlikely partnerships could reshape the universe. In a cosmos filled with darkness and uncertainty, humanity's greatest hope was its capacity for connection across stars, species, and hearts. The end.